Hey everyone, hope you're having a safe and fun summer. It's Mr. Bruce the Magic Man, and we are ready to have some fun today by me teaching you some magic tricks with everyday objects you have at home. These are things like cotton balls and cups and rubber bands and pieces of paper. But you know what? All the magic that I show you is a lot of fun magic that you can fool your moms, your dads, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts and uncles, and your dogs and cats. Oh, wait a minute, I don't think that's gonna work. But you can have a lot of fun fooling your friends and your family. Now, what does it take to be a magician, you might say? Well, first things first. In order to do a magic trick, you gotta remember, never tell the secret. That is number one, never tell the secret. Number two, always remember, never do a trick more than once. Because somebody may watch you closer the second time, and they may actually figure out how the trick works. So if they say, hey, show me that trick again, then you can say, hey, I've got something even better to show you, and just move on to the next trick. And number three, always remember to practice the tricks. Because the tricks that I show you are simple. Some are a little more advanced, but when you practice in front of a mirror. Because what you see in a mirror is what your audience sees. So while you're practicing those tricks and you're fooling yourself in the mirror, you know you're ready to go ahead and show a live audience those tricks. So have a lot of fun with these things. They're a lot of fun, and there's different kinds of magic. I mean, there's magic of reading somebody's mind. There's magic of sleight of hand magic, and there's magic of grand illusion. And there's also magic of, on a smaller level, which is called parlor magic. So today, I'm going to be showing you a lot of things that you can work out of your pockets and you can fool your friends and your family with. Now, in magic, we have a thing that we call, on some levels, optical magic, an optical illusion. Have you ever seen an optical illusion? Well, give you an example. You're driving down on a summer hot day, and you're in mom's and dad's car, and you're going down the road, and it looks like you see all of this water going across the road. You ever seen that before? Well, yeah, when you get up there, is there really water in the road? No, it's just an optical illusion. It's the sun refracting off the heat off the pavement, and it looks like there's water. Well, I'm going to show you an optical illusion today I think you'll have a lot of fun with. These are boomerangs. Now, has anybody ever seen a boomerang before? Well, a boomerang is made out of wood, and when you throw it, it generally comes back to you. That's right. They originated in Australia, also known as down under. You've all heard that before. But I have two boomerangs here. Let me show you. They're both the same size, and one happens to say under, the other one happens to say over. Now here's the question for you. Where should over go? Should over go over under, or should under go over? It's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? Tell you what, I believe under should go on the bottom, over should go on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch under a little bit. Watch. Did you see me stretch it? Well, you look, you'll see under is much bigger now than over. Kind of interesting, isn't it? I'll do it again. Only this time, I will stretch over a little farther than under. Yeah, there we go. Now, over is much bigger than under. I mean, it's almost a whole 2 inches bigger. Pretty interesting, huh? Tell you what, I'll do it again. This time I'll take under and stretch it even farther. And as you can see, it's much bigger than over. But if you don't like that, you can always bang them together like so. And put them nose to nose, toe to toe, and they look the same size to you, don't they? And you know why, my friends? It's because they actually are the same size. And this is called the Baffling Boomerangs. Hope you like it. Now, how do you do the Baffling Boomerangs? These are made out of cardboard. The question is, can you stretch cardboard? Absolutely not. You cannot stretch cardboard. I just pretend to stretch it. It's called showmanship. So, what do? Any one of these pieces of cardboard that's held over the other one will always look smaller on the top than the one on the bottom. See when I change them up a little bit? Looks like it's kind of interesting, isn't it? The one on the top will always look smaller than the one on the bottom. I know you're out there rubbing your eyes going, well, that's pretty interesting. How is that possible? Well, it's due to the fact of how these pieces of cardboard are cut. Give you an example. Have you ever looked at a banana? If you hold a banana up, usually it's big on the outside of the banana, but it's smaller on the inside. Naturally, a banana is not squared off on the ends, but if you look at a banana like this, you'll notice that it's smaller. The contour is a little bit smaller on the inside than it is on the outside. Well, that's how this works. So you can get a piece of cardboard and make your own boomerang. It doesn't matter how big they are or how small they are, as long as that they're the same size. In fact, you can try this with a banana. If you get two bananas that are roughly the same size, you'll be able to do your own little version of the Baffling Boomerangs. It's a lot of fun. Have fun with it, fool your friends, and it works all by itself. That makes it even better. I hope you like that one. All right. Hey, we got a lot of things that I want to show you today. And here's a question for you. The question is this. I have a card here, a playing card, and I also have a glass. Now the question is the card heavier than the plastic glass? Naturally, the glass is heavier. But the neat thing about it is if I take the glass and I go ahead and I set it onto the table here, just like so, you'll see somehow that that glass can balance on that playing card. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? There's no wires, no strings, nothing, but yet a little bit of imagination. That's a pretty cool trick, isn't it? Now, when you do this trick, I gotta tell you, you're going to need some cards. Some playing cards, not that big of a stack. I'm only gonna use a few cards. And you wanna use a plastic cup, okay? Don't use a glass, because if you're doing the trick and you accidentally drop the glass will break, and we don't want you to get cut on it. So always use a plastic cup, or a paper cup, a Dixie cup, or a styrofoam cup, anything like that. But don't use a regular glass. Now, let me show you this very special card here. This is the card that does all of the work for you. This card here is actually a card and a half. It looks like a little trap door there, as you can see. Just a little trap door. So how does this thing work? Well, from behind, this is what it will look like. Let's say that you're backstage and you're going to see how this trick works. This is the audience over here. So when I hold the card by the side and I take my finger and I set the card down after I've showed it back and front, what I do is the sneaky stuff with this finger here. This finger pulls out the trap door a little bit, so it looks like that, like the letter T. And they don't see that from behind backstage. They're just looking at the card from the front. So when you open up the trap door, and the best way to open the trap door is to push forward on the card a little bit, and this will cause the trap door to open a bit. As you set the cup on top of the card, it's almost like an easel that an artist would use. It looks something like that. So now that you see what the close-up of it looks like from behind, from the front, it looks like the card is balancing the glass. So when you want to grab the glass and the card at the same time, you're going to close the trap door and grab everything at the same time. And that way you'll be able to show the front and the back of the card, and then you'll get a big round of applause. Let's hope you like that one. All right, so we're just going to set that off for the time being. Now, one of the things that's really neat with this trick, I'm going to give you a little afterthought. When you use a plastic cup, you can actually fill it with a little bit of water and put your fingers in there and splash the water around a little bit before you actually do the actual trick. So when you're doing the balancing glass, it gives it a little extra weight. So that way it'll actually set properly on the card. Now don't fill the glass with too much water, just about a little bit, maybe about an inch worth. And it will balance out everything. So then when you're ready to finish the trick, you grab the glass and the card at the same time, turn the card over, show the card to be normal, set it down, and put the glass on top and get a big round of applause. Okay? So that's a lot of fun. So to make the thing is very, very simple. I'm going to show you how to make this up. Ask mom or dad for a couple old cards. Anything that I show you on these tricks to make sure you ask mom and dad if you can have a rubber band or some cups, paper cups, or anything like that. Just don't go take them. Make sure you ask mom or dad for these supplies. Now, to do this trick is very simple. You need a couple old cards that you don't use anymore. Doesn't matter what's on them. You're going to take and you're going to fold that card lengthwise, sort of like so. Give it a good crease, and then you're going to fold it the other direction. And you're going to do this back and forth a few times. And as you do this, the card will weaken. Because first of all, does anybody know what cards are made out of? Well, somebody said paper. Well, they're made of paper to a degree, but they also have a little bit of plastic in them. And that's what keeps them from wearing out so quickly. Because when you're playing with playing cards, you know how they get old and old, but yet they still are good? It's because there's plastic in them. Now, once you bend it back and forth like this, you're going to go ahead and give it a nice little clean tear right down the middle. You're now going to end up with a card and a half. You're also going to need some Scotch tape. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do. We're going to do this on the table here so you can get a good bird's eye view of this. You're going to go ahead and line that up, and you're going to get some Scotch tape. And what you're going to do is you're going to line it up perfectly. It has to be perfect in order for it to work. You're then going to take the tape and you're going to go ahead and place the tape right down the center of the card. So now, once that's all set, keep in mind when you're doing this, you may have a little extra tape on the top there. Just trim it off. A pair of scissors, be very careful. So now you have your trick card. It's basically nothing more than a half a card with the full card, and that's what's going to hold your glass up, just like so. All right? Just never let anybody know about the trap door that's right there, okay? Always keep it flush, keep it flat until you're ready to do the trick. And here's some bigger plastic glass. I bet you I could probably do it with this one. Perfect. Look at that. A whole stack of plastic ones. Yep. And then you just grab, show the card, show the glass, and take a bath. All right? So that's something you can have fun with. Hey, have you ever been to summer camp? You know, I used to love summer camp when I was real little, and you know, we used to have this thing when we were doing arts and crafts where we made these things called friendship bracelets. You may know what I'm talking about. It's where you took these little loops and you kind of fastened them and kind of made them like in a knitting fashion and created this little bracelet known as a friendship bracelet. In turn, you would give that bracelet to somebody you wanted to make a friend with, and then in turn, they would do the same thing for somebody else. Eventually, everybody was making friends. It's a pretty cool concept. Well, today I want to show you something with these two little craft loops, or shall we say friendship bracelet loops. There's a blue one. I have a lime green one right here. I'm just going to place the blue one with the green one in the center. I'm going to bring the blue up to the top, and I just want you to keep an eye on the green one at the bottom. If I pass my hand over the top, you'll see the green somehow manages to change places with the blue one. Kind of interesting, isn't it? I wouldn't really call this a magic trick of more so than an optical illusion, sort of like the Baffling Boomerangs. It's a really interesting little thing, and it's kind of a very interesting little visual for your eyes. But then all you have to do is pull them apart, and you can let somebody examine them if you'd like. And that's what I call lucky loops. Hope you like it. Now, it's a very simple trick to do, and the explanation is very, very simple. You just need a couple of these little craft loops, and you just hang one on the other, just like so. You bring the ends up to where it forms like a little handle, almost like a handle on a purse. And then your middle finger and your thumb goes together, and you just pull down on the one on the bottom, just lightly, just to tighten it up a little bit. Now, all you have to do to make them change places is you reach up and you grab one little strand of that loop. And I'll do it in slow motion, and when you pull it, it'll rotate everything down, just like so. I'll do it again. Grab one of the little strands and pull it, and it rotates everything down. So now when you're doing this fast, it looks like they visually change places. Kind of sneaky, isn't it? Now, one thing that you want to remember when you're doing this trick, never grab multiple strands. Always grab one strand. Because if you grab two strands, let me show you what will happen. All right, when you grab two strands and you pull, it's not going to do anything, okay? Or if you grab this, two at the same time, it's just going to bunch up on you like that. Don't do that. Just grab one strand only, and it will actually cause the loops to change places. And that, my friends, is called lucky loops. Give it a try. You can have some fun with it. Here's a piece of paper. Here's a little something that you can have fun with. Question is, how many fingers do you have on your hand? Well, if you said 5, you're actually wrong. It's actually 4 and 1 thumb. And I have that on each hand, 4 and 1 thumb. How many pieces of paper do you see? Exactly, 1. Now, if I tear it in half, that gives me how many pieces of paper? 2. If I tear it again, that gives me 4 pieces. If I take those 4 pieces and I fold up everything just like so, and I have everybody here yell the magic words, and in this case, you know what they are. I have the need to read. The magic happens. When I give it a little shake like so, you'll see that the paper somehow magically melts back together, just like so. So you want to learn how to tear a piece of paper up and magically restore it? Well, here's the explanation. First things first, you're going to need 2 pieces of paper that are identical in size, and to make sure that you cannot see through these, they have to be a dark color. And I'll explain why in a few moments. You're also going to need some Scotch tape. You're going to need a small piece of tape here that you're going to pull off the spool, and you're going to make a sticky ring of tape where it's sticky on all sides. Now, when you do this trick, here's the thing. It's what we call a disposable trick. So after each time you do the trick, you're going to tear it up and throw it away. So what you have to do is you make a bunch of these up ahead of time if you're going to perform this trick for a lot of your friends and family. Best way to do that is when you're watching TV and you're sitting down, and you can make a whole bunch of them up while you're watching your favorite TV show. So let me show you how to make this thing up. First things first, both pieces of paper have to be identical. You're going to take one of your pieces of paper and fold it into thirds. That means 3 sections. And when you fold it, make sure that you crease it and fold it away from you each time. You're now going to fold it into thirds again, making it a little bit smaller, just like you did a moment ago. So now, after you've done that, you turn it sideways and you fold over this side away from your body and fold over the other side away from your body. So now it creates this little packet. Now on the back of the packet, you're going to go ahead and take that O-ring of sticky tape and you're going to put it right there in the back. You're then going to take that and stick it in the center, almost over to the end of that piece of paper. That's it. You're now ready to do the trick. When you do the trick, always remember, this is the trick that you need to do it straight on. Never have anybody on your sides or directly behind you, because they're going to see this little packet behind you. That's what's going to do all of the magic for you. So, show you how it's done. You can show your hands empty. Never let them know about the packet on the back here. Tear it in half and put that piece in front. Tear it in half, put that piece in front. So now you've got 4 pieces, it looks like, in the front. But in the back, you have this little pack of wadded up paper. You fold everything around away from that little packet of paper. This is what it looks like from the back. Folding it away from you, fold this down, and folding this up. So now you have just made a little packet of all the torn pieces that are in the front, and in the back is the solid piece. So when you try this, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now you have to do the secret move. No, I'm only kidding. That's not the secret move. All right. Actually, all you have to do is turn everything over end over end. So now, when you open it up from the front, all of those pieces look like they have melted together. So now you can show your hands empty. You may ask yourself where those pieces are. They're hidden on the back here, stuck with that piece of tape. And that, my friends, is how you tear a piece of paper up and magically restore it. Give it a try. Hey, here's one that you can have a lot of fun one. It's one of the classics of magic. You'll notice I have this blue rubber band on these 2 fingers here. If you watch closely, that rubber band will jump from those 2 fingers to those 2 fingers. And that is a really cool trick. The explanation for the jumping rubber band trick is very, very simple. And the trick has been around for a long, long time. It's so old that it's new. Let me show you the setup of how this works. First things first, you need a rubber band that will fit kind of snugly on your fingers, but not too tight, all right? And now what you're going to do is to set the rubber band up for the trick. You do this before you actually show somebody. So you pull the rubber band up, you pull it to the side, and you take all 4 of your fingertips and lay the rubber band across the fingertips. So now if you turn your hand over slowly, you'll see that it looks like the rubber band is really on those 2 fingers, when in essence, it's coming around under these 4 fingers. So now when it's done slowly, when I open up in slow motion, watch what happens. The rubber band rotates off these 2 fingers and will jump onto these 2 fingers. So from the front, when it's done quickly, looks something like this. It looks like it's jumping. Now, if you really want to get technical, after you've learned how to do the simple version of making the rubber band jump from these 2 fingers, once again, you pull this over, the fingertips go in, you lay the rubber band across it, you bring your hand around, and when you open your hand quickly, it will look like it is jumping from there to there. Now, if you want to do something really sneaky, is you can take your finger, when you turn your hand over, slow motion, this is what it's going to do. You scoop up the rubber band, turn your hand over at the same time and putting those fingertips inside. You now can reverse the rubber band, like so. So now you've made it jump from these 2 fingers to those 2 fingers, from those 2 fingers back over to these 2 fingers. And that's something I hope you like. It's a classic of magic, the jumping rubber band. Here's a classic of magic. In fact, this was one of the very first magic tricks I ever learned in a magic set. It is called the cups and balls. History says that this trick is over 2,000 years old. You may have seen it performed many, many times in magic sets that you may have had, but it's a very simple trick. It consists of 3 cotton balls and 3 plastic cups. Now, if you watch carefully, if I take one of the cotton balls and I put it on the middle cup and I give it a little tap like so, it'll travel just like an elevator and end up at the very bottom. Tell you what, I'll do it one more time. All you have to do is watch very closely. I'll take a ball, put it on the middle cup, cover everything up, give it a tap with the magic wand, and just like an elevator, goes all the way to the bottom and joins the first ball. I'll tell you what, we'll do it one more time. That's 1, that's 2 cups, and that's 3 cups. We'll place the ball right there in the center. We'll give it a cover like so. I'll give it a tap. Just like an elevator, it goes to the bottom. And guess what? It joins the other 2. So right now, we've got 3 balls. Are you using your imagination? Because we're going to try something a little extra. All you have to do is watch 3 solid cups and 3 solid balls. Oh, by the way, I do have another ball in my pocket. There it is right there. I'll place it on the center. Oh, I'm sorry, it rolled off. Let's try it again, okay? Keep an eye on the cups. I'll cover it up. And when I give it a tap, it's just like an elevator, goes all the way to the bottom. But not only is it invisible at one point, now it is visible, and we now have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 balls and 4 solid cups. Now the explanation of the cups and balls. This is a fun thing. What you need is either 3 plastic cups or paper cups or styrofoam cups. Whatever mom may have, you may want to ask her what she has. Make sure that the cups, though, you cannot see through them. All right, you're also going to need 4 cotton balls. In the setup, I have a magic wand, but you don't have to use a magic wand. You can use your finger, you can use a pen or a pencil, and that can be your magic wand. But the setup is very, very simple for this trick. The trick works all by itself. You start by having 1 cotton ball in the middle cup. You then put 1 cup on top of that. Those 2 cups are now stacked on top of that. So if you've done everything properly, you've got 1 ball in the middle cup that the audience does not know about. You never tell them about that. In the top cup are the 3 balls. So now you are ready to perform the trick. You start off by dumping out the 3 balls and laying them out in front. And then you're going to go ahead and take off each cup from the bottom. And you're going to turn it over towards you as you're doing this. 1. The next cup has a ball in it. You don't let anybody know about it. You just pull it toward yourself and turn it over. Centrifugal force holds that ball in and keeps it from falling out if you do it quickly enough. You then take your ball, set them to the side, put a ball on the middle cup. So now when you cover up everything and you pick up everything, it travels to the bottom. They think it has. You turn the cups up, you do the same thing again. Cup to the side, cup with the ball goes over the first ball, and the next cup goes to the side. Place a ball on the middle cup, cover up everything, give it a tap. It now looks like it's gone through and joined the first ball. Now, you do it one more time, just like so. Next cup that has a ball in it goes over the 3. I'll show you. You can see it's in there right now, but don't show the audience. Just like that, and like so. The last ball goes right there on top. Cover it up, give it a tap, and it now looks like it's gone all the way through the cups. Now at this point the trick is over, but I take it a step further. I go ahead and I do the same move again, reach into my pocket, take out an imaginary ball, set it on the top, pretend like I'm covering it up, giving it a tap, and the ball not only materializes, but joins the other 3 balls, just like so, thus proving you now have 4 balls, 3 cups, and that, my friends, is what we call the classic of magic, the cups and balls. Give it a try.